Imagine this moment. You've just landed after a long international flight. Your passport is warm in your hand. You step into the immigration hall, surrounded by strangers speaking languages you don't understand. You feel that familiar tension. Not fear, but awareness. Because for Jewish travelers, history has taught us that travel is never just about geography. It's about safety. It's about acceptance. It's about wondering how visible you can afford to be. You reach the counter. The officer scans your passport, looks at the screen, looks back at you. And then, something rare happens. They smile. And they say, "Welcome," no hesitation. No extra questioning. No discomfort. Just welcome. For Jewish travelers in 2025, this moment is becoming more common. Not because the world suddenly became perfect, but because some countries made a conscious choice. A choice to open doors instead of raising barriers. A choice to protect minorities instead of politicizing them. A choice to say, clearly and publicly, "You belong here." Today, we're going to explore 7 visa-free countries where Jewish travelers are not just allowed to enter, they are genuinely welcomed. This list isn't about propaganda. It isn't about pretending anti-Semitism doesn't exist. It's about recognizing places that chose a different path. Some of these countries will surprise you. One of them has been loyal for over 75 years. And the number 1 country is actively reshaping global history. Stay until the end, because this is not just a travel list. It's a glimpse of where the world might be going next. Number 7. Colombia, the welcome nobody expects. Let's begin with a country that almost no one expects to see on this list. Colombia. For decades, Colombia's global image was shaped by conflict, instability, and misunderstanding. But quietly, beneath the headlines, something very different was happening. A Jewish community was surviving. Then growing. Then thriving. Today, more than 3,000 Jewish families live in Colombia, primarily in Bogotá and Barranquilla. Jewish presence here dates back generations, built through perseverance and resilience. Visa policy. Israeli passport holders, along with Jewish travelers from the United States, Canada, and most of Europe, receive 90 days visa-free. But paperwork is the least important part of this story. What matters is daily life. Walk through Bogota's Chico district, and you'll see something rare. Kosher restaurants operating openly. Synagogues just blocks away from Catholic churches. Jewish schools functioning as part of the wider community. There is no pressure to hide. No pressure to explain. Every year during Hanukkah, a public menorah lighting takes place in Park 93. Thousands attend, Jews, Christians, Muslims, atheists, locals, tourists. It's not a political statement. It's a community event. Colombia has faced hardship, but it has learned something powerful. Coexistence is not weakness, it's strength. And for Jewish travelers, Colombia offers something unexpected and deeply meaningful, a sense of normalcy. Number 6. Guatemala. Loyalty that never change. Guatemala's place on this list isn't about tourism campaigns. It's about history. In 1948, when Israel declared independence, many nations hesitated. Some waited. Others avoided involvement altogether. Guatemala did not. It became the second country in the world to officially recognize the State of Israel within days. That decision wasn't transactional. It wasn't strategic. It was principled. Guatemala understood the cost of survival. And it chose solidarity. Visa policy. Israeli passport holders and most Western Jewish travelers receive 90 days visa-free. Today, Guatemala's Jewish community is small, about 1,000 people, but deeply connected. Visitors are welcomed immediately, often invited to Shabbat dinners even if they've never been before. In 2018, Guatemala moved its embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, standing firm when many countries chose caution over conviction. For Jewish travelers, Guatemala offers ancient Mayan ruins, colonial cities like Antigua, breathtaking landscapes like Lake Atitlan, and something even rarer: consistency. Guatemala didn't support Israel when it was easy. It supported Israel when it mattered. And that loyalty is felt by every Jewish traveler who walks its streets. Number 5. Panama, where time is part of the welcome. Panama doesn't just welcome Jewish travelers. It gives them time. Visa policy. Israeli passport holders and most Jewish travelers receive 180 days visa-free, a full 6 months. That alone sets Panama apart. But there's more. Panama's Jewish community, numbering around 10,000 people, dates back to the 1800s. Jewish life here is well established, visible, and respected. In Panama City, synagogues operate openly. Kosher restaurants are easy to find. Jewish schools and community centers are fully integrated into society. What truly distinguishes Panama is enforcement. The country has strict anti-discrimination laws. Anti-Semitism is not tolerated. Hate speech is prosecuted. Jewish travelers frequently report feeling comfortable wearing religious symbols in public. For business travelers, digital nomads, and families, Panama offers stability, a dollar-based economy, strong infrastructure, and legal protections that matter. Many visitors arrive expecting a short stay. And then they don't leave. Because Panama doesn't feel temporary. It feels safe to build something. Number 4. Costa Rica, peace by design. Costa Rica's national motto is Pura Vida, pure life, but this isn't branding. It's policy. In 1949, Costa Rica made a radical decision: it abolished its military entirely. Instead of investing in weapons, it invested in education, healthcare, and social stability. The result? One of the safest, most peaceful countries on earth. Visa policy. 90 days visa-free. Costa Rica's Jewish community is small, about 3,000 people, mostly in San Jose, but active and deeply connected. Shabbat services are held weekly. Kosher food is available. And perhaps most importantly, Jewish identity is not politicized. There are countless stories of Jewish and Israeli travelers being helped by locals, rescued, guided, hosted, without conditions. In Costa Rica, you are not reduced to labels. You are treated as a person. Travel here means cloud forests, beaches, volcanoes, and the rare experience of being somewhere that actively chooses peace. Number 3. Brazil, the country that shocks everyone. Brazil's presence on this list surprises almost everyone. And then, it makes perfect sense. With over 100,000 Jews, Brazil has the largest Jewish population in Latin America, concentrated mainly in São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. Visa policy. 90 days visa-free. Jewish life in Brazil is not hidden. It's woven into the national fabric. In São Paulo, Jewish neighborhoods thrive with synagogues, cultural centers, kosher bakeries, and schools. Jewish social clubs operate openly and often welcome non-Jewish members. Brazil has strengthened hate crime legislation in recent years, specifically targeting anti-Semitism and religious discrimination. But what truly sets Brazil apart is cultural confidence. During Carnival, Jewish heritage appears alongside traditional Brazilian celebrations, not as an outsider but as a contributor. Brazil doesn't ask Jewish people to assimilate quietly. It allows them to belong loudly. Number 2. Mexico, a second homeland. Mexico's relationship with the Jewish people is not recent. It is historic. During the 1930s and 1940s, when many countries closed their doors to Jews fleeing Europe, Mexico opened its borders. Thousands found safety and built new lives. That legacy continues. Visa policy. Israeli passport holders and most Jewish travelers receive 180 days visa-free. Mexico is home to approximately 50,000 Jews, with over 40,000 living in Mexico City. Neighborhoods like Polanco feature kosher restaurants, Jewish schools, multiple synagogues, and cultural institutions comparable to those in New York. Every year during Hanukkah, a public menorah lighting takes place in Mexico City's Zocalo, the country's most important square, attended by city officials and thousands of citizens. Mexico does not treat Jewish culture as foreign. It treats it as Mexican. For Jewish travelers, Mexico offers beaches, history, food, and something deeper. Continuity. Number 1. United Arab Emirates, history in motion. 5 years ago, this would have been unthinkable. Today, it is reality. The United Arab Emirates earns the number 1 spot on this list, not because it is perfect, but because of what it represents. Visa-free entry for Israeli passport holders. The Abraham Accords changed the Middle East overnight. What followed was not symbolic, it was structural. In Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Jewish travelers walk openly, synagogues are officially recognized. Kosher restaurants operate publicly, Jewish holidays are acknowledged. The Abrahamic family house stands as one of the most powerful symbols of the modern era. A mosque, a church, and a synagogue sharing the same ground. This is not tolerance. This is integration. Standing beneath the Burj Khalifa, wearing a Star of David, and feeling safe is something history did not promise. But the UAE delivered. Not through words, through policy. Final reflection. 7 countries. 7 cultures. 7 different paths toward the same conclusion. The world is not closing, it is changing. For Jewish travelers in 2025, safety and welcome exist beyond traditional destinations. These nations chose dignity over division, protection over politics. So here's the invitation. Choose one of these countries. Visit it. Experience it firsthand. Because travel isn't just about seeing new places. It's about being welcomed, and sometimes, being reminded that hope still travels freely.